What is up, guys? This is Meyples with the Super Nerd Bros, and so today, I'm sure most of you are aware, they released the gameplay footage for Elden Ring. So I intentionally did not watch the premiere because I wanted to share that with you guys and kind of all watch it together. So we're gonna go ahead and start the video, a live react, and let's watch it together. I'm super hyped about this. I love the Souls series. Played the hell out of Dark Souls 1 and 3 too, kind of, and I've been really wanting to get the Demon Souls remakes if PS5 ever stops being like $1,500 to buy. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this video and hopefully see some pretty cool stuff. So all right, so I've already got it up to the countdown. Let's go ahead and get this going. So super excited to see what we're gonna have to go here. So I'm gonna shut up and let the footage play.
Peggy 16.
Hello everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. In this video, we'll show some footage of our new action RPG, Elden Ring. We hope it helps to convey a little of this title's mood and gameplay.
I am glad that they went with a PC build because obviously that's where I'm gonna get it. So I want to see what this thing is capable of. Okay, very Souls-esque. All right, I love that giant tree.
In the lands between.
Is that supposed to be like Yggdrasil? Because it said the lands between, so it almost kind of.
This is a site of grace.
Okay, there's our bonfire.
As a place of rest for the player.
There is our firekeeper, essentially.
Occasionally, grace will manifest rays of guiding light.
You get mounts? What? There's mounts in a Souls game.
Free to choose whether to follow this guidance. Or head off to explore.
I don't know how I feel about that. There's also guidance, which is okay. So that is kind of cool, kind of bad. So like a lot of Souls purists are gonna be like, no, we don't want any like hand holding. You don't, no mounts. Don't show us. I'm cool with it because it's like, dude. Part of the Souls series that's so great is you kind of can make your own challenge. Like the amount of like no hit runs, there's been at least one guy I know of, but there's been a few people who have like attempted to like deathless run or like no hit run all 3 games in a row for the Dark Souls series and restarting if they fail at any point, and they succeeded. So like you can choose not to use that and still make the game extremely challenging. Like I'm probably not going to use it too much if I can avoid it, but it's nice that it's there. Without, like, I don't want them to make the game easy like this. I don't want it to be like, oh, it's just a hack and slash and you make it hard on yourself. I want the game itself to be challenging, but adding those little features that can kind of help newer players is never a bad thing. Okay, you're kind of typical little giants, and I love the art style so far. Frame rate looks really smooth, especially it's a preview, so of course, but I love how big this world looks. And I love the backdrop there with like what it looks like Yggdrasil. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be, but there's a dragon. There's a dragon, and I love it. And it just kind of flew in. Is this going to be like Skyrim where the dragons can just show the hell up? The music is playing. Is this a boss fight? Because he's still mounted, and he's mounted casting spells. What? So mounted combat. Oh, that is so cool. So like magic archer on the horsey. I love it. But he didn't. I want to note that it only showed him casting spells from the horse. We have not seen him swing. Or if we did, I just didn't notice it. But during this fight, I didn't see him swing. So we got what looks to be the Claymore, which I'm super happy about. Claymore is Baymore. I'm not taking any questions on that. Love. Okay, so there it is. You can melee while on the horse. Now, you kind of see him off the horse, on the horse, on the horse. So I wonder if there's like a cooldown of like going onto it. Okay, so there's your critical points. We're used to that in the Souls games. So pretty standard Souls combat there with a little bit of flair. I like the addition of the mounted combat. Ooh, someone's talking. I swear if this is patches. I swear if this is patches. There's someone stuck.
Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. I am Alexander.
Okay.
Also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here.
Okay, I gotta pause because I hear like the hello, I'm stuck. Hello, help me. My first thought is patches. So it would have been kind of cool if it was patches, but they do need to like do other characters. But I really do hope we get a patches reference somewhere. Just
You help me out with this.
okay. So we are seeing that there are
Doubts to rest.
character storylines, which is great.
Very well trained.
There's one of the coolest things about, and I know I keep pausing it, but I don't want to talk over them. But this is a live react, so I want to give you my thoughts. One of the best things to me about the Soul series was all the side quests. I loved how it's like one playthrough, you can't do everything. Because sometimes by completing one quest, you are completely stopping another. So you have to go back and do it again. And there's so much to the world. And the way the characters interact actually matters. Like in Dark Souls 3, when you continually pull your power out for the holification, eventually that NPC dies. There is a consequence to your action. It's not just, oh, you completed a quest and now there's no more quests for him to give you. No, that character is just dead. You killed that character. So I like that there's those consequences. I'm hoping we see something like that. Already we're seeing there are going to be character storylines, which is great. So hopefully they have that kind of meaningful stuff. It does look like this game is aiming more towards open world because which I mean, Souls games have always been kind of open in that you can transition from one to the other, but it's a larger open area than I think we've seen in any of the previous games. So I don't know how much of it is going to cause them to kind of have to short other spaces, but I'm hoping that we get like the kind of the full picture here.
All I say.
Oh, there's the Great Club, and there's the bonk. Nice. So there is the combos, and he just knocked him out of a hole. I like it. I like that kind of dynamic interaction.
Well played, good sir. Well played. Oh, that mighty wallop of yours almost.
So it's not someone in the pot. It is the pot, of course. I like the voice acting. Oh, dude. Okay, can we just stop? This looks so great. And if you can go to all of these areas at once, that is amazing. Because you think about like the Irithyll of the Boreal Valley, the original in Orlando view, you get these awesome viewscapes that you can just kind of look at and take in, but you can't go there. A lot of the area in those games is kind of sealed off. So far, with the game seemingly being more open, if you can go to all of this, that is going to be so good. So good. It's like there's even more, like, it looks so good. Like, I love the design. I've always just loved just the overall, just the atmosphere of the Souls games. There's a map.
The map can prove useful when exploring the world, and is populated by acquiring map fragments.
And it's a huge map. I like that you have to like acquire things to get it, but you can like set markers. This is going to cause a little bit of controversy, I feel like, in the Souls community, because you're gonna have a lot of people who are like, we don't need maps. We did just fine without them. We can just learn to navigate the game. Yeah, and you don't have to use it. But look how big they've made the world. Like, I'm cool with this. I don't necessarily know. Maybe people aren't going to care, but I do know a lot of people, like, at least in like the Reddit and stuff like that, they absolutely are not for simplifying these games. But I'm all about it. Adding more features, like, just keep what makes the game, like, keep the heart of the Soul series, and adding stuff like this is fine. And I like that you have to find the shards. How difficult it's going to be done, we'll see, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Markers to customize the map, such as setting reminders for the location of crafting materials
Okay.
or dangerous enemies. Beacons can also be placed to help with orientation.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Skyrim
Beacons
thing.
placed on the map appear in the world.
Okay, so that right there tells me you can actually explore all of this. I am excited about this so much, because there's the beacon, and like, look at the traversal. Like, I don't know if you can go down in this area, but obviously all of this is, and this back area here is. So this whole map is all, like, this is going to be so good. Like, just in pure terms of scale. I don't know what the quality is going to be. We'll have to wait and see. But in pure terms of scale, this looks amazing. And again, horsies. I like the mounted combat. I want to see what they do with the mounted combat. Here's my concern, and I'm going to get to what I'm looking at in a minute because I know what is about to happen and it's going to be awesome. My issue with the mounted combat, my concern is that it may invalidate or make certain fights easier. Like if you can just run around the dragon with the horse and make it super easy to avoid mechanics, avoid attacks without having to dodge, then I'm not going to be cool with that. There needs, as long as there's some kind of trade-off, like you get hit once, you can't get back on the horse, or there's maybe damage penalty, something that you have to balance it, or it's not so easy that you can just dodge everything running in circles. Because then the bosses, man, like that's my favorite, like the scale, the story, all of that. But if the bosses are bad, then it takes away from the experience. So if you can just run circles on a horse and take the bosses out with like a cutlass or a claymore, then I'm not going to be as happy as if the horses are mostly used for traversal, maybe a little bit of combat against like easier enemies. So we'll see. But what I'm wanting to see, this right here, I've played enough games. We all know what's about to happen. This horse is about to get yeeted, and I want to see how effective this is. That is a huge jump, and that is an awesome view.
Can be used while on horseback to launch high into the air. This allows for stress-free traversal of areas with a great deal of verticality.
Okay, so they're adding. I like that they're adding more verticality to the game. A little bit of traversal. Hopefully, it doesn't invalidate too much. What's all the lightning about? Is this just like random lightning or storms? Okay, the dynamic weather is going to be awesome. Now, I don't know if this is just like this area has this weather or if the weather can change per area. It'd be great if they had dynamic weather because it just makes the game feel more alive. There's your binoculars. And I love the music. I love the score playing in the background.
The carriage over there is carrying treasure, an opportunity too good to pass up. We'll prepare for combat with some item crafting, using materials.
So they very much kept a lot of what. So let's look at the stat lines. So we have your faith, arcane, intelligence, dexterity, strength, endurance, mind, vigor. Very much a Souls game. We have HP, FP, stamina, equip load. We see medium load, poise, discovery. So it is a Souls game. They are keeping the core of the stat lines and stuff, and I love to see that. I love to see that you're apparently the medium load, I'm gonna assume, determines your rolls, just like they did in previous games. We'll see. I'm looking at the menu. I like that the menus are kind of a little more refined when you open them up. Although it's a full screen menu, I want to know, because I do see the simple view, the switch view. I want to know, is it possible to minimize it if you want to just be able to quick swap? Because this may make weapon swapping or like ring swapping a little more complex, but it was fine in Dark Souls 3. It'll be fine here. Like the huge menus are just kind of a staple. I wouldn't mind it if you can kind of get it to where it's a little bit more transparent, but you can at least still see your character. It's not a huge deal. That's just a personal thing. I wouldn't mind being able to see the game going on still, so that I'm not like in the menu and then, oh, hey, I'm getting charged. But that's the risk you take.
Found in the world.
So there's crafting, I think. Is that what he just did? I want to say that there's crafting. He did say crafting materials earlier, so I'm not sure if that was just going to be something along the lines of, okay, so crouched, the archery looks pretty nice. That's one thing that my gripe was. I like the finishing animation. And you can hear a lot of the similar sounds that we're used to. And this may change in the final product, but listen to the attack animations, the parry or the critical animation.
Enemy stance can be broken with heavy strikes, such as when attacking from above.
Okay, so then we got some special attacks off of there, so I like it. I like the dynamic combat.
Can also be interchanged between weapons.
Nice. I like, oh, like a little shade step. I like that they're adding a lot more to the weaponry here. I would have laughed if it was a mimic. That would have just been like the most Dark Souls thing to do, is make the chest that the guy's fighting
In
for
more
a mimic.
perilous situations, we can summon spirits to assist us in battle.
What?
Spirits vary greatly in type, so we look forward to players experimenting and finding their personal.
I am not sure how I feel about that. I'm not. What? This is going to be very much one of those things I need to see the specifics. Because it looked like he summoned so many spirits there. And I'm just like, if I can just summon a bunch of spirits and have them take out things for me, then it's not, to me, that kind of invalidates some of the combat when I'm like, oh yeah, I can't beat this thing. Let's just summon a bunch of stuff. For some people, it's not going to matter. Again, like, I'm not trying to gatekeep Dark Souls. But for me personally, like, I always played the games. My first playthrough was always 0 summons. I won't summon NPCs for fights. I won't summon players for fights. Not my first time. Later, I'll do it for like storylines, like the Solaire quest line, like summoning them or whatever. I'll do that. But the first time is always by myself, so I get that full experience. So having NPC summons on a spell slot, from what it seems like, I don't know. I'll need to know specifics. How many times can you use it? How effective are they? Are there penalties? Like, what are the specifics here before I kind of make a final judgment on this?
Favorites.
Did he just jump? Was that a part of the attack? Okay, so he's leaping, but is that a jump? Or is it part of the attack animation? Because he was jumping on the horse. Again, love the view. Great view. So we have a player summon. Is that an invader or a summon?
Online multiplayer can also be enjoyed with players from other worlds, from cooperative to PvP and invasions.
Okay, good. So there are invasions, there are PvP. Awesome, all that. So the PvP scene will definitely be alive in theory. If the game's bad, it won't, but I think this is an invader, like, trying to get a fight. Maybe. Or are they? No, we'll see. You can't see the little items on the ground. It's all very Souls-esque. This is standard. We've seen this kind of stuff before. And they're using a lot of NPCs that do kind of look similar. There's a stealth mechanic. Like, in Dark Souls, there is a bit, because it's like, yes, you can kind of like sneak around corners and stuff, but I don't remember there ever being like a crouch stealth mechanic. So interesting. How much of the game can you skip using it? Again, what's the payoff? What is the payoff? Because I don't necessarily, it's a huge map. So if you're like, it's one thing in like Dark Souls 1 and you're trying to get on the Anne Orlando path, you're trying to get to ONS for like the 20th time because they're just still kicking your ass. From the bonfire at the lift, you just have to get by, the giants, and you just have to get, as long as you've opened the shortcut, you just have to get by the giants, get past the mages or whatever, and you're at the door. Now, in this instance, you're dealing with a massive world, so it may not be practical to be like, you have to take on this entire forest to get back. So how it plays out will be important here. So I'm not going to quite judge it. I just don't like the idea of being able to skip huge parts of the world, but I'm not a stealth character. So for people who love stealth gameplay, this may be absolutely awesome, and more options is never a bad thing. It's a big old boy. I love the lighting too. Okay, your standard Souls emotes.
We've come across a boss guarding this area.
Okay.
We'll take it on with the help of our co-op partner.
Now he says a boss guarding the area. Are there like open world bosses, like mini bosses, how there were in like Sekiro, or like? Because in Sekiro you had a lot of the mini bosses that weren't like traditional bosses. I love that giant axe. I want that axe that the dude is wielding. That looks so good. Okay, so the spell effects are so good. That is Aldrich. That is Aldrich's arrow rain. That is awesome. I love that. That is the arrow rain that Aldrich uses, more or less. It seems to more cover an area and not follow you, but that's so awesome. God, the spell effects and particle effects are so good. I love it. Did he just... Okay, so he just summoned a dragon head that shot fire, so that's cool. This is going to be like a Kamehameha. Yeah, so we've seen that in Dark Souls, the like the magic laser. I don't remember the name of it right now, but spell effects look great. Combat looks great. Definitely approve of that. I love the art style of the armor too. This very much reminds me of armor sets. Like the first armor set we saw was very much kind of reminiscent of the Eastern armor set. This looks like one of your typical knight sets with a little bit of a cloak. What is the name of that set? There is the armor set that like has almost like a white cloak to it with the knight set, and I cannot remember the name of it right now. But okay. Love the change of music, the change of effect here. Got your torch.
Caves, mines, and other dungeons can be found while out exploring the world.
Skeletons, of course. It's a Souls game. There has to be skeletons.
These dungeons each hold their own secrets, from hidden treasures to fearsome bosses.
Oh no, I'm getting such Sin's Fortress vibes off of that. We'll see. I do like that there's going to be like open world dungeons, like these little catacombs to explore, like in Skyrim, how you could just like find the crypts. So that's cool. It kind of gives you like a dynamic thing to go do. But I want to know if it's like a one clear and you're done per playthrough kind of deal. Is this okay? So this is shiny. Please be a mimic. Damn it! I really want him to get. I want him to get eaten by a mimic so bad, just because. Like I want to see someone get eaten by a mimic, and I think that guy had the. I don't know if it was the crow quills. I didn't get a good look at it. It looked like, you know, that melee kind of gauntlet weapon, so maybe. But okay, and who's that? So this is our firekeeper.
Greetings,
Yeah. Yeah.
traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Okay. So Melina.
I offer you an accord.
Yes, we got our firekeeper, and in keeping with traditional Souls firekeepers, there's something wrong with her eyes.
We've reached Stormvale Castle, a large-scale dungeon
looks
which
awesome.
connects seamlessly with the surrounding Limgrave region.
Yes, we got the name of the region, Grave, and we got the name of the castle. And it says it connects seamlessly, so that tells me there's going to be loading screens. Not going to be anything else. You just go straight into this castle, and bam, you're there.
Come over here, would you? You're tarnished, aren't you? I would advise against taking the main gate into the castle. It's tightly guarded by hardened old hands. Oh, try the opening right here. The guards don't know about it. You'll breach the castle undetected. Fair enough. You certainly don't have to trust me. Well, if you must go through the gates, I'll signal them to open. But of course, I'd advise against it.
Okay, so you have some options here of how you approach things. I like it.
The gates! Open the gates!
He was not kidding. There's your Estus. Okay.
The main
So you
route
have the
seems
quick
risky,
healing.
so we'll try entering through a back way.
Okay, so you can jump. Okay. Which, I mean, like, you've been able to jump before, like, but it was a running jump. I want to know if you just have, like, a static up and down jump. that was awesome. I love how they've kind of got like, I'm guessing these are like the weapon arts like in previous like Dark Souls 3 and stuff like that. I want to like know if that's how they're going to play out. You use FP to basically use these because the animations look awesome. I love the design. That very much looks like a weapon art attack. So, and I'm really enjoying it. The combat just looks sick. All right, we have some more archery.
Extra care
With
should
a
be
fire
taken
arrow.
when moving through
Nice.
dungeons, as visibility and terrain differ from when in the open. We hope players enjoy getting a feel for the different types of areas and coming up with suitable strategies for each.
And of course, this is why you always check your corners. That looks friendly. So the jump seems a little bit like it's a longer jump. I noticed that you don't roll on the land. So it's very much a static jump. Now I want to know if you're going to have, this will be kind of a good,
Dungeons
okay,
are
so I want to know if
complex
you're
and
going to have that little
multi-layered,
bit of a delay
meaning
on
they can be
larger
tackled
jumps.
from a number of routes.
Okay. So I like that you have some options here.
Ah, nice to meet you. The pleasure's mine. Roger is the name. A sorcerer, as you might have guessed. I'm looking for a little something here in the castle. When I'm not hot-footing it from the troops, that is. But enough about me. What are you doing here in Stormvale Castle?
Is this kind of like a throwback to Big Hat?
Hunters, you know.
It's not a huge hat, but
Sacrifice
it's a
our
bigger
kind
hat.
for grafting. Not exactly a place I'd stroll into without a purpose in mind.
So like, they do have backstories to even these open world dungeons. Oh, that's up. Okay. Nice little parry. I love the art style. Like, I just can't get over like how good the art looks. Like it's very much an improved Dark Souls. Like it didn't feel like they went too far in one direction or the other. They took what fans have come to love about it and they've just made it look better. Ooh, Fog
In
Gate.
this next boss fight, we challenge one of the demigods.
So this
ruler
feels
of
like an
Stormvale,
actual boss
Godric
fight.
the Golden.
All right, Godric the Golden, and it's a different color fog wall. They're usually like white fog walls and stuff. So, okay, boss cutscene.
Mighty dragon, thou art a true-born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights.
Don't know how many fingers this guy needs, but he's got them all. Big giant axe. Multiple big giant axes. Okay, how many fingers does this guy need?
I command thee. I am the Lord of all that is golden.
Okay. That is an interesting. I like the design. I love the theme, dude. Almost getting some Ludwig vibes from the music, just a little bit. Okay, so I'm seeing the summon thing here. Summon seems to be holding its own. So that was one of my... Okay, Summon went down. Does he get another one? Of course, we have no damage bar, so I don't know how much damage the Summon did. It doesn't look like it was too overpowered. It went down pretty quick. The AI on the Summon doesn't seem too bright. So I'm going to say the Summons aren't a bad thing. I'm going to say they're not a bad thing just looking at it. These attacks look dope. Like, they're very much more aggressive style than what we're used to in like Dark Souls 1, so I love it. You're getting nommed on. Okay. I take it we lost.
Thank you for watching.
Okay.
This was just a brief introduction to Elden Ring's fundamentals. But more
Okay, so guys, I'm super stoked. I'm hype about this. I am a huge fan of the Soul series. Ever since like I started getting into it, like the lore, the combat, and everything, I really love the series. So getting this new one looks super dope. I was a little concerned when it was like they're kind of going in a different direction, and Martin's not known for finishing his stuff, but it looks really good, looks refined. I am going to have to reserve judgment on a few things. The mounted combat, I need to see whether or not that is going to make the fights too easy. I did notice he didn't get on a mount in the boss fight, so maybe something you can't take it indoors, you can't use it in boss fights. That would be pretty good. The summon, I was a little concerned about the summons being perhaps too broken, but again, the summon itself did not seem to cause any issues. The AI wasn't the brightest. It went down pretty quick, so I want to say that the summons aren't going to make or break the game. Tentatively, we'll see. I like that the stat lines look a lot of the same. It's going to be what you know, so you're not going to be wondering like, oh, what's this do, what's that do. Overall, very hyped. I think it's going to be a great game. I am eager to explore this world and maybe try to get my ass kicked to PvP for a little bit, but we're going to have to wait for the game to actually come out. And with the delays, it's going to be a little bit longer, but I think it's definitely going to be worth the wait. We'll have to see. So, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to kind of sit through and experience this with me. Let me know what you guys think of this trailer, this preview. Like, do you think that there's, like, what are your concerns? What are you hyped about? What would you like to see in the future? What are you most looking forward to in the game? So be sure to leave a comment below and let us know, and I will see you guys in the next video.